The massive screens inside Earth Defense Command lit up as thousands of ships emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Admiral James Porter stood straight, his weathered hands clasped behind his back as he watched the incoming fleet. 20 years of military service hadn't prepared him for this moment. "Sir, we're detecting over 3,000 vessels," reported Lieutenant Tom Wilson from his station. "They're spreading out in attack formation." Porter nodded slowly, his gray eyes fixed on the tactical display. Humanity had prepared for this day, ever since they'd detected the first signs of alien radio signals 50 years ago. Now those preparations would be put to the test. The alien fleet's approach was beautiful in a terrifying way. Their ships gleamed like polished silver in the sunlight, moving with perfect precision. The formation split into 3 groups, with the largest vessels holding position just beyond Mars' orbit. "Incoming transmission," announced Communications Officer Mary Baker. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies, sir." "Put it through," Porter ordered, straightening his blue uniform. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a tall figure with pale blue skin and elaborate golden robes. Multiple medals decorated its chest, and its 4 eyes blinked in sequence as it regarded the humans. "I am Lord Thane, Supreme Commander of the Galactic Empire's First Contact Fleet," the alien announced in perfect English. "Your world has been chosen to join our glorious empire. Resist, and we will be forced to demonstrate our power. Submit, and you will be granted the privilege of serving under our banner." Porter exchanged glances with his second-in-command, Commander Anna West. They had run simulations of first contact scenarios for years, but none had started with such an outright demand for submission. "This is Admiral James Porter of the United Earth Defense Force," he responded calmly. "While we welcome peaceful contact with other civilizations, Earth is a sovereign world. We do not submit to threats." Lord Thane's upper eyes narrowed. "Admiral Porter, you misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. The Empire has ruled this galaxy for 10,000 years. Your primitive world has only recently achieved spaceflight. The choice is simple. Join us willingly or be conquered." Porter allowed himself a small smile. The Empire clearly hadn't done their homework. Earth's apparent technological level was carefully crafted propaganda. While their ships might look basic compared to the Empire's fleet, generations of hidden preparations were about to pay off. "I must consult with Earth's governing council," Porter replied diplomatically. "We request 24 hours to consider your offer." "You have 12, Lord Thane declared before cutting the transmission. Commander West stepped closer to Porter. "They're positioning their ships to cover all major population centers, sir. Standard intimidation tactics." "Just as we expected." Porter nodded. "Activate Protocol Lighthouse. Alert all command centers. And get me a secure line to Dr. Reed at Quantum Defense." The next 10 hours were a blur of activity. Deep inside mountains and beneath oceans, hidden facilities hummed to life. Satellites that had masqueraded as communication relays revealed their true nature. The Quantum Shield Network, humanity's greatest secret, waited for activation. When Lord Thane's image appeared again on the main screen, his confidence remained unchanged. "What is your answer, Admiral Porter?" Porter stood tall, surrounded by his bridge crew. "The United Earth Council has considered your offer, Lord Thane. Our answer is no. Earth declares itself off-limits to your empire." All 4 of Thane's eyes widened in surprise before narrowing in anger. "Then you choose extinction. Open fire." The Empire's ships launched their first volley, thousands of energy beams streaking toward Earth. But instead of the expected devastation, the attack splashed harmlessly against an invisible barrier 50,000 kilometers above the planet. "Impossible," Lord Thane shouted. "Your world doesn't have shield technology." "You're right," Porter replied with a grim smile. "We have something better. This is your only warning, Lord Thane. Withdraw your forces or face the consequences." As alarms blared throughout the Empire's fleet, the first wave of Earth's hidden defenses activated. Hundreds of stealth platforms emerged from their camouflaged orbits, weapons primed. The real first contact war was about to begin, and humanity was ready. Lord Thane's image disappeared from the screen, replaced by tactical displays showing the Empire's fleet scrambling to regroup. Porter watched calmly, knowing that centuries of paranoia and preparation were about to pay off. All commands, this is Admiral Porter. He broadcast to Earth's defense network. Execute Operation Thunderbolt. Show them why you don't threaten Earth. Dr. Emily Reed rushed through the underground corridors of Quantum Defense Base Alpha, her footsteps echoing off the steel walls. Behind her, screens display the ongoing space battle, where the Empire's ships were still trying to breach Earth's invisible shield. Status report. She called out as she entered the main control room. Dozens of scientists and engineers worked at their stations, monitoring the quantum shield network that had caught the Empire completely by surprise. Shield integrity at 98%, reported her assistant, Robert Blake. The Empire's weapons are powerful, but they can't break through the quantum field. Emily nodded, her eyes scanning the complex equations flowing across her personal display. The quantum shield was her life's work, hidden from the world for 15 years. Now it was humanity's first line of defense against an alien invasion. Above the Earth, Admiral Porter watched as the Empire's fleet regrouped. Their initial attack had failed, but he knew Lord Thane wouldn't give up easily. The Empire's reputation was at stake. "Sir," Lieutenant Wilson called out, "we're detecting energy buildups in their capital ships. They're preparing something big." Porter pressed a button on his command chair. "Dr. Reed, are you seeing this?" "Yes, Admiral." Emily's voice came through clearly. "They're trying to overload our shields with a concentrated burst, but they don't understand what they're dealing with." The Empire's largest ships moved into formation, their weapons glowing with gathered energy. Lord Thane's face appeared on the command screen again, his four eyes blazing with anger. "This is your last chance, humans," he growled. "Lower your shields and surrender. What comes next will destroy your entire defense network." Porter smiled calmly. "Dr. Reed, show them what else we've been hiding." Emily's fingers flew across her control panel, activating Phase 2 of the Quantum Shield project. Starting up the AI defense grid. Across Earth's orbit, hundreds of small satellites that had remained dormant for years suddenly activated. Each one contained a quantum-powered artificial intelligence, linked together in a vast network. The Empire's ships fired their superweapons, sending massive energy beams toward Earth. But instead of hitting the shields, the beams curved away, caught by the eye-controlled quantum fields, and redirected into space. "Impossible," Lord Thane shouted. "No primitive world could have this technology." "That's where you made your mistake," Porter replied. "Assuming we were primitive just because we chose to appear that way." On Emily's command, the quantum AI network went on the offensive. Targeted energy fields began appearing around Empire ships, disrupting their engines and weapon systems. "All defense platforms, engage at will," Porter ordered. Earth's hidden weapons platforms opened fire, their advanced missiles passing easily through gaps in the Empire's shields that the AI network had identified. Explosions bloomed in space as the Empire's fleet suffered its first losses. Lord Thane's face showed shock as reports of failing systems flooded in from his ships. "This is Dr. Emily Reed." Emily broadcast to the Empire's fleet. "Your shields operate on a predictable frequency. Our quantum AI can analyze and counter any pattern you create. You cannot win this fight." In the command center, Robert pointed to new sensor readings. "They're pulling back. The entire fleet is retreating to Mars orbit." Emily allowed herself a small smile. Years of secret work, hiding humanity's true capabilities, had paid off. But she knew this was just the beginning. "Admiral," she called Porter, "we should expect them to change tactics now. They'll try to find other ways to attack once they realize they can't break through directly." Porter nodded grimly. "Agreed. All commands, maintain battle stations. Dr. Reed, keep the quantum shield at full power." They'll be back, and next time they'll be desperate. As the Empire's ships withdrew, Emily walked to the main window of her underground base. Somewhere up there, Lord Thane was realizing that his empire had finally met a force it couldn't simply conquer. Humanity had spent generations preparing for this day, and they were ready for whatever came next. The real test was about to begin. Captain Michael Stone stared at his computer screen in the dimly lit intelligence center beneath London. Something wasn't right about the latest social media trends. #TheEmpire Empire was suddenly the top trending topic worldwide, gaining millions of shares in just hours. "Sir," called out his analyst, Jack Taylor, "we've traced the source. These aren't normal posts. They're using some kind of advanced AI to create perfect, targeted content for each user." Stone rubbed his tired eyes. The Empire, having failed to break Earth's defenses, had switched to a new strategy. They were trying to turn humanity against itself. "Show me the pattern," he ordered. The main screen filled with data flows, showing how the Empire's messages spread across different social networks. They were using Earth's own communication systems against them. In orbit, Admiral Porter was dealing with a different problem. The Empire's fleet had split into smaller groups, each staying just outside the quantum shield's range. They were up to something, but what? "Admiral," Commander West called out, "we're picking up thousands of small objects launching from the Empire's ships. They're too small to be weapons." Porter's eyes narrowed. "Captain Stone, are you seeing this?" "Yes, sir," Stone replied over the secure channel. "They're data pods. The Empire is flooding Earth with propaganda devices. Each one carries advanced AI systems designed to hack into our networks." The pods began entering Earth's atmosphere, designed to look like harmless meteor showers. Most burned up, but some made it through, scattering across the planet. Stone's team tracked each landing site. "They're targeting our major network hubs," he reported. "The Empire thinks they can turn our population if they can control our information flow." In his command ship, Lord Thane watched the operation unfold. The humans had surprised him with their technological defenses, but surely they couldn't resist the Empire's most effective weapon: the power to control minds through perfectly crafted propaganda. But humanity had prepared for this too. Stone pressed a button on his console, activating Earth's hidden network defense system, releasing the Guardian AI swarm now. Across the planet, special computer systems came online. Unlike regular networks, these were built to fight back against alien infiltration. Millions of defensive programs swarmed through Earth's internet, hunting down and destroying the Empire's propaganda eye. "Sir," Taylor shouted, "the Empire's systems are trying to adapt. They're learning from each attempt we block." Stone smiled. "That's exactly what we wanted. Every time they adapt, we learn more about how their AI thinks. Keep tracking their patterns." In space, Porter watched as more pods launched from the Empire's ships. "They're getting desperate," he told Stone. "Each wave is less sophisticated than the last. They're running out of tricks." Stone's team worked through the night, battling the Empire's digital invasion. Earth's social networks became a battlefield, with artificial intelligences fighting for control of humanity's information flow. But the Empire had made another mistake. They assumed humans would believe anything they saw online. Instead, people began sharing real footage of Earth's successful defense against the invasion. #EarthStandStrong started trending, drowning out the Empire's artificial messages. "Captain," Taylor called out, showing Stone a new data stream. "We're picking up transmissions from the Empire's fleet. Their crews are starting to see our real messages. Some of them are questioning their orders." Stone immediately contacted Admiral Porter. "Sir, we've found a weakness. The Empire's crews aren't all loyal. They're starting to doubt after seeing us resist." Porter nodded on the screen. "Good work, Captain. Keep pushing our message out. Let's show the Empire's forces what they're really fighting for." In his ship, Lord Thane received increasingly worrying reports. Not only had his psychological warfare campaign failed, But his own crews were beginning to question the Empire's right to rule. The humans weren't just defending their world. They were spreading dangerous ideas about freedom and resistance. Stone watched the data flows with satisfaction. The Empire had tried to use Earth's greatest weakness, its free flow of information, as a weapon. Instead, they had given humanity a channel right into the hearts and minds of their own forces. The war for Earth was becoming a war of ideas, and humanity was winning. Dr. Emily Reed hadn't slept in 36 hours, but she couldn't stop now. Her screen showed streams of intercepted Empire communications, encoded in complex quantum patterns. For weeks, her team had been gathering this data, and finally, they were close to a breakthrough. "Look at this pattern," she told Robert, pointing to a recurring sequence in the data. "Their quantum encryption has a flaw. They're using the same baseline frequency for all their communications." In the background, screens showed the Empire's fleet, still hovering at the edges of Earth's solar system. After their failed propaganda campaign, they had fallen back to regroup, but everyone knew they would try something new soon. "Running the new decryption algorithm now," Robert announced, his fingers flying over his keyboard. The quantum computers deep beneath their facility hummed louder as they processed the massive calculations. Suddenly, clear text began appearing on their screens. The Empire's secret communications were being decoded in real time. Emily immediately contacted Admiral Porter. "Admiral, we've done it. We can read their transmissions. We're calling it the Babel Protocol." Porter's face showed rare excitement on the video screen. "What have you found?" "Everything," Emily replied, scanning through the decoded messages. "Their battle plans, fleet movements, and wait." She paused, reading a particular message more carefully. "Sir, there's something bigger here. The Empire isn't as united as they want us to think." On the main screen, she displayed translations of internal Empire communications. Many of their ship captains were questioning Lord Thane's leadership. Some were even secretly communicating with rebel factions in distant parts of the Empire. "This is perfect timing," Porter said. "Captain Stone's team has been spreading our message through their ranks. Now we can coordinate with the dissidents directly." Emily's team worked quickly to integrate the Babel Protocol into Earth's defense network. Soon, every human military command center could read the Empire's supposedly secure communications. Lord Thane, unaware of the breakthrough, was preparing his next attack. "All ships, prepare for synchronized quantum jump," his message read when decoded. "We will appear simultaneously at all approach vectors to overwhelm their shields." "They still don't understand how our quantum shield works," Robert said, shaking his head. "Their plan will fail just like the others." But Emily saw an opportunity. "Maybe we can do more than just defend this time." She began typing rapidly, her mind racing with possibilities. "If we can read their quantum communications, maybe we can also transmit on their frequencies." The next hours were a blur of activity. Emily's team worked to modify the Babel Protocol, turning it from a passive listening tool into an active weapon. They wrote code that could inject false commands into the Empire's communication network. When Lord Thane gave the order for his fleet to jump, Emily was ready, as the Empire's ships prepared to activate their quantum drives. Her modified Babel Protocol slipped through their systems. Instead of appearing in attack formation around Earth, the Empire's ships materialized in random locations throughout the solar system. Some emerged near Jupiter, others by Saturn's rings. Their carefully planned assault had turned into chaos. "How is this possible?" Lord Thane's frustrated message came through clearly on their monitors. "Who dared to interfere with my commands?" Emily allowed herself a small smile as she typed out a response, sending it through their quantum channels. "The same primitive humans you thought couldn't resist you. Perhaps it's time to reconsider your assumptions about Earth." In orbit, Admiral Porter watched as the scattered Empire ships tried to regroup. "Dr. Reed," he called, "can you send them more than just messages?" "Already working on it," she replied. "The Babel Protocol can transmit any kind of data. We could send them viruses, false sensor readings, or even shut down their engines remotely. The Empire's mighty fleet, which had conquered countless worlds, was now at the mercy of human hackers. Their most secure communications had become their greatest weakness. "Sir," Robert called out, pointing to new data streams, "we're getting messages from Empire ships asking about surrender terms. They say they've seen enough of Earth's power." Emily shared a look with Admiral Porter on the screen. They both knew this was just the beginning. Earth hadn't just defended itself. It had shown the entire galaxy that the Empire wasn't invincible. The revolution was about to begin. News travels fast, even in space. As Earth continued to resist the Empire's attacks, stories of the small blue planet spread through the galaxy. Admiral Porter stood in Earth's new interstellar communication center, watching as messages poured in from dozens of alien worlds. Another transmission from the Proxima colonies, Commander West reported. "They're asking for our help to break free from Empire control. That makes 15 systems this week." Porter studied the galactic map on the main screen. Red dots showed Empire-controlled worlds, while blue dots marked places where rebellion had broken out. The number of blue dots was growing every day. "Their message is simple," Captain Stone added, looking up from his intelligence reports. "They say if Earth can stand up to the Empire, so can they." In orbit, Earth's defense fleet had grown stronger. Some Empire ships had switched sides, their crews inspired by humanity's resistance. Their captains now taught human pilots about Empire technology and tactics. Dr. Reed's Babel protocol had become more than just a code-breaking tool. It was now a network connecting rebel forces across the galaxy. "We're receiving technical data from resistance cells on 6 different worlds," she announced. "They're sharing Empire security weaknesses with us." Lord Thane was facing a crisis. His failure to conquer Earth had sparked something he couldn't control. In his command ship, now hidden behind Mars, he received increasingly bad news. "My lord," his aide reported, "the outer colonies are in open revolt. They're using Earth's quantum communication techniques to coordinate their attacks." Thane slammed his fist on his command chair. How dare they? 10,000 years of Empire rule, threatened by one insignificant world. But Earth was no longer alone. The first alien diplomats had already arrived, traveling in secret to meet with Earth's leaders. They brought gifts of advanced technology and vital intelligence about Empire weaknesses. In the underground command center, Porter met with representatives from 3 different alien species. They looked strange to human eyes. One was tall and crystal-like. Another seemed made of living metal, and the third glowed with inner light. "Your world has shown us something important," the crystal being said, its voice translated by Dr. Reed's computers. "The Empire is not invincible. They can be beaten if we work together." The metal alien added, "We have suffered under Empire rule for centuries, but we never dared to fight back until we saw Earth's success." Porter smiled. "Earth is happy to help, but we need to be smart about this. The Empire is still powerful, but growing weaker," Captain Stone interrupted, rushing into the room with new intelligence. "Our spies report that 20% of their fleet has deserted. Empire worlds are beginning to demand independence." Dr. Reed's voice came over the intercom. "Admiral, you need to see this. We're picking up transmissions from the Empire's capital world. There's fighting in the streets. The people are demanding changes." The glowing alien spoke, its light pulsing with excitement. "This is our chance. If we coordinate our attacks now, while the Empire is divided." Porter held up his hand. "We need to be careful. If we push too hard, the Empire might do something desperate. We need a plan." The aliens nodded in agreement. Together with Earth's leaders, they began plotting the next phase of the rebellion. Earth's defensive technology would be shared with trusted allies. Dr. Reed's quantum communication network would coordinate their movements. In space, more Empire ships were appearing near Earth, but these weren't coming to attack. They were deserters, seeking asylum and offering to join the growing rebel fleet. Lord Thane watched helplessly as his forces crumbled. The Empire had ruled through fear for 10,000 years. Now Earth had shown the galaxy something more powerful than fear: hope. The revolution that started with one small planet's defiance was about to change the galaxy forever. Admiral Porter sat at the head of a large table in Earth's most secure bunker. Around him sat the leaders of the Resistance: Captain Stone, Dr. Reed, Commander West, and representatives from 7 alien worlds. The plan they were discussing was dangerous, but it might end the war. Operation Ghost Protocol is ready, Porter announced, bringing up a holographic display of the solar system. The Empire thinks we're weakening. It's time to use that against them. Dr. Reed stepped forward, her tired face showing new energy. We've modified our quantum shield to look like it's failing. When the Empire attacks, they'll think their weapons are finally breaking through. In orbit around Mars, Lord Thane watched Earth's defenses with growing satisfaction. His sensors showed power fluctuations in the humans' shield network. Victory seemed close after months of frustrating defeats. The humans are finally breaking, he told his commanders. Prepare the fleet for a final attack. This time, Earth will fall. But it was all a trap, deep under the Pacific Ocean, in a base unknown even to most of Earth's military. Dr. Reed's team had spent weeks preparing their secret weapon. Nanite swarms are ready, she reported to Porter. The Empire won't be able to detect them until it's too late. Captain Stone's intelligence team had played their part too. They had leaked fake battle plans to the Empire, making them think Earth's defenses were concentrated in the wrong places. Lord Thane took the bait, Stone confirmed, showing intercepted Empire communications. They're positioning their fleet exactly where we want them. Commander West coordinated with the rebel alien ships hiding behind Earth's moon. All Allied forces are in position. They're ready to strike when we give the signal. The Empire's massive fleet began moving toward Earth. 3,000 ships, their weapons charged, approached the seemingly weakening shield barrier. Lord Thane stood proudly on his bridge, ready to claim victory. "My lord," his sensor officer called out, "we're detecting gaps in their shield network. We can punch through." Thane gave the order to attack. "All ships, forward. Today we end this rebellion." The Empire's fleet fired everything they had. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes struck Earth's quantum shield. To their delight, the shield appeared to crack and fail in several places. "Now," Porter commanded. Dr. Reed activated the nanite swarms. Billions of microscopic robots, hidden in the debris of previous battles, suddenly came to life. They swarmed over the Empire's ships, slipping through their shields as if they weren't there. "What's happening?" Thane demanded as warning lights flashed across his bridge. Where did these things come from? The nanites moved through the Empire's ships like a silver flood, disabling weapons, shutting down engines, and trapping crews in their sections. But they didn't destroy. They simply contained. At the same time, the rebel fleet emerged from behind the moon, cutting off the Empire's retreat. Earth's real defense grid, which had never actually failed, powered up to full strength. "This is Admiral Porter to the Empire fleet," Porter broadcast on all channels. "Your ships are now under our control. The nanites can disable your self-destruct systems faster than you can activate them. It's over." In his command ship, Lord Thane watched helplessly as his mighty fleet was paralyzed. The humans hadn't been weakening at all. They had lured his entire attack force into a perfect trap. "The Empire will never surrender to primitives," he shouted. "You don't have to," Porter replied calmly. "Just look at your screens." All across the Empire's fleet, crews were watching transmissions from their homeworlds. The rebellion had spread everywhere. The Empire's capital itself was under the control of reformers who wanted peace. Dr. Reed's voice came over the command channel. "Your choice is simple, Lord Thane. Surrender your fleet or watch from here as the Empire crumbles without you." The great deception was complete. Earth had won not through brute force, but through careful planning and clever strategy. The Empire's own arrogance had been their undoing. The galaxy was about to change forever, and it all started because one small planet dared to say no. 1 month after Operation Ghost Protocol's success, Earth's orbital space looked very different. Hundreds of ships from various alien worlds hovered peacefully above the planet. The former Empire vessels, now under rebel control, had been repainted with new symbols of freedom. Admiral Porter stood in the newly constructed Global Unity Hall in Geneva, surrounded by representatives from 50 different alien species. The hall's massive windows showed both Earth's blue skies and the stars above, symbolizing humanity's new place in the galaxy. The last Empire holdouts surrendered this morning, Captain Stone reported, walking up to Porter with his latest intelligence update. The reforms are spreading faster than we expected. Dr. Reed joined them, holding her latest quantum pad. The new communication network is working perfectly. Every freed world can now talk to each other instantly, without Empire control. Commander West entered the hall, escorting the latest group of alien diplomats. Among them walked Lord Thane, no longer in his imperial robes, but in simple diplomatic dress. His defeat had changed him, opened his eyes to a new way of thinking. "You could have destroyed us," Thane said to Porter, his 4 eyes showing respect rather than their former arrogance. "Instead, you showed the galaxy a better path." Porter nodded. "Earth didn't want to rule or destroy. We just wanted to be free. And now everyone else can be free too." The main screens in the hall lit up, showing scenes from across the galaxy. On countless worlds, people of all species celebrated their independence. The Empire's symbols were being replaced with new flags representing unity and freedom. "The final draft of the Galactic Charter is ready," Dr. Reed announced. Her Babel protocol had helped translate the document into 500 different languages. Every world will have an equal voice in the new council. The alien representatives gathered around the central platform. One by one, they stepped forward to sign the charter. Each signature represented a free world, choosing to join a new alliance of equals rather than submit to Empire control. "Earth's defense technology will be shared with all member worlds," Porter declared, "but it can only be used for protection, never conquest." The crystal being who had first joined Earth's rebellion spoke next. "And our people will share our sciences too. Together, we will grow stronger than the Empire ever was." In orbit, Earth's quantum shield shimmered briefly as it was joined to a new network. Similar shields appeared around other worlds, linking together in a defensive web that would protect all allied planets. "The nanite factories are being converted for peaceful use," Dr. Reed reported. "They'll help rebuild worlds damaged by Empire rule." Captain Stone's intelligence networks had changed too. Instead of tracking Empire movements, they now helped coordinate humanitarian aid and technological exchanges between worlds. Lord Thane stepped onto the signing platform last. As the former Empire's representative, his signature would mark the official end of the old regime. "I spent my life believing the Empire brought order to chaos," he said, looking out at the gathered species. "But Earth showed us that true order comes from freedom and cooperation, not control and fear." As Thane signed, cheers erupted across the galaxy. The Empire that had ruled for 10,000 years was officially dissolved. In its place rose something new, the Galactic Federation of Free Worlds. Porter looked at the Earth through the hall's windows. Their small blue planet had done more than just defend itself. It had changed the course of galactic history. "What happens now?" Commander West asked, watching the celebrations. "Now the real work begins," Porter replied. "We've won our freedom. Time to prove we deserve it." Above them, ships from 100 worlds danced in formation, their lights painting the sky with symbols of hope. The galaxy had entered a new age, and it all started because Earth dared to say no entry to an empire. Humanity had not only survived, they had shown the universe a better way forward. The stars were no longer a place of fear and conquest, but a frontier of endless possibilities for all free peoples to explore together.